Hey everybody, Stephen Bogran here from Pro Physique. Today I'm gonna talk about how we keep the weight off.
My name is Steven, and this is our video about health and fitness things. And I work for Pro Physique, and I am just a guy with a fitness thing for you.
Alright, I hope you're all having a wonderful day, as good of a day as I'm having as we risk it for the biscuit. Woo! Yeah, that's right. I ordered it on Amazon. You too can have your risk it for the biscuit shirt. I kid. Okay. How do we keep the weight off? I mean, this is such a huge question for so many individuals and something that so many of you out there struggle with, and I know it's extremely frustrating. We are very, very good at getting into this dieting habit and we lose all the weight, and then what happens? We stop dieting and 6 months later, 12 months later, we're right back to where we started. And that can be extremely frustrating, very disheartening, and just kind of not so great all around for us. So this really is a topic that's super important for so many individuals and something that we need to kind of discuss and be aware of. And so some of my how to keep the weight off tips are going to be great for those of you who haven't started dieting yet, but we might also want to use them on the back end of the diet as well. And so for my number one, where I'm going to start, how do we keep weight off? We take small steps. What does that mean, Stephen? Well, we talk a lot about lifestyle change, how we change those lifestyle habits to perpetuate health, fitness, body weight goals, body weight maintenance, those kinds of things. And so what that means is taking things in these very digestible movements, things that are very easy to manage, things that aren't going to overwhelm us, and things that we're going to be able to handle within our current lifestyle. That can be very difficult because of the fact that when we do that, when we have this kind of very manageable, maintainable approach, we get away from a lot of the marketing approaches. The marketing, lose 10 pounds in 10 days, lose a pound a day for 32 days, all this kind of crazy stuff that sounds really good, but continues to leave us wanting at the end. And the reason that is because when we take those really aggressive approaches and we do those crazy things and we change everything, it's not manageable and maintainable for the long term. And if we truly want to keep the weight off, we have to figure out a way to do the weight loss in a way that's going to be manageable for the long term and to bring you out of that to get you back to a lifestyle that is manageable in the long term. We see this all the time with keto and no carb and all the kind of crazy stuff. For those of us who love pasta and cake and all the other kind of things, right? That's not going to be probably very realistic for us in the long term. For some people, keto is a great idea. For most of us, it doesn't necessarily set us up for success. So we want to really take small, manageable, maintainable steps. For some of us, that might mean that we don't start off really losing weight. And the fact that we're going to start out not losing weight, that's scary and that's tough. Bear with me. The reason we may start out not losing weight is because the first thing we may need to do is just learn how to manage these things better. Maybe we need to learn how to track calories. Maybe we need to learn why protein is important. Much easier to say, I'm going to put the time into starting to track my protein if I understand the importance of protein. Maybe we need to do some just nutritional education. That can be a scary part, but it sets us up to be in a spot where now we truly understand why we're making the changes we are and what those changes are doing. When we understand that process a bit better, it's much easier for us to adhere, much more likely that we'll actually adhere, and that we will be able to be okay with making the changes we might need to. So small, digestible steps. If we love soda and we are used to drinking regular, soda pop, maybe we go to a diet soda pop. Is it a change? Yes. Is it a change in a good direction? Absolutely it is. And is it maintainable? Yes. For most of us, that's going to be a very realistic, manageable change. For a lot of us, it's going to be a change of what's reasonable. Maybe we don't stop eating some of our certain foods, but we utilize moderation and we start having some more portion control with those foods. Is that going to see us progress? Yes. Is that hopefully going to be manageable and maintainable? Yes, absolutely. What about maybe some food choice changes? This could absolutely be another way that we can see progress, have a manageable and maintainable approach to where we've started using different foods in some of our meals, but maybe not all. We still get to utilize things we enjoy, but we're heading in the right direction. And once we start mastering that, then we move on to the next step. Then we move on to the next step. We would never want to jump straight into trigonometry before we've even learned addition and subtraction. Yet we do this all the time with our dieting. So my number one, it's manageable, maintainable, realistic changes for you. And that looks different for everybody. So we have to understand where you're at, where you're starting, and how we make progress for you as an individual. What is my number two? My number two is don't just jump back into life. This goes very hand in hand with number one, because oftentimes when we use those really aggressive approaches, what happens is we stop our diet, we go back to exactly what we were doing, and that's when that weight regain really happens. Just like anything else, our body adapts, it changes, and it evolves to handle whatever we're throwing at it. So when we go into these maybe long, harsh dieting phases, our body does adapt to that. So if we just go right back to what we were doing, we're set up and primed to regain weight. Now, if we do number one and we take those small, manageable steps and we start working our way back up to maybe what we used to do, or working our way up in calories, working our way down in the extra cardio, whatever we were doing to lose weight, now we start seeing an opportunity for our body to really maintain or minimize weight gain as we get back to a more realistic place for ourselves in terms of lifestyle, food choice, and the time investment that everything's going to take. So really big stuff there. My number three is pretty straightforward and easy. It's weight training. It's do some form of resistance training. Why is that important? Well, it builds muscle, and muscle is a great thing. So not only is it going to burn calories while you're in the gym, of course, yes, that's important, it's beautiful, it's good, but it's also going to set us up to be in a place where we can continue to be independent throughout our later years in life. Maintaining that muscularity and having that good base of muscle sets us up to be more independent, to be more resilient, and to just be in a better place as we age. And so the resistance training can be great because, yes, one, it keeps us in like that healthy lifestyle, right? Keeps us in the idea of we go to the gym, we want to maintain, we're aware, we're cognizant, we're thinking about it. But it also does some really great things in terms of maintaining muscle, building muscle that are going to help us out in the later years in life. What's my next one? Number four, it's cardio. And this is one that I've changed my stance on over time. I used to think that the less cardio you can do, the better off you are. So I would always try to get people to do no cardio and maintain weight and be like, this is perfect. I don't know that I necessarily agree with that anymore. There are definitely really good benefits of cardiovascular health from having that aerobic activity, but I also believe that it helps in terms of just total work capacity, and it's really beneficial for stress management, getting some endorphins going. So just like we can do that with our resistance training, we can also do that with cardiovascular activity. We can get outside, we can see the sun, we can get some endorphins going, and it can be a very beautiful thing. Making sure that we're also getting all of those adaptations metabolically from them by having some semblance of cardio in. So if you like cardio and it's something you really enjoy and you're doing well, I wouldn't go for no cardio, but I would keep that cardio regimen in. And the beautiful thing is cardio doesn't have to be any specific thing. If you like going out for a jog, go out for a jog. If you enjoy walking the dogs, walk the dogs. If it's a bike ride or a hike, all of these things are beautiful ways to enjoy that activity, get outside, and continue to keep that weight off while prioritizing our health. And of course, my last one, 5, it's really there with number 1, but it's just make sure you plan ahead for what comes after. Oftentimes we get so stuck on the number on the scale that we don't think about what comes after. We say, I'm willing to do anything to get that freaking number down. I hate that number. My damn doctor keeps giving me shit about it. Ugh. Right? And so we're very good at focusing to that goal. We're goal-oriented with that one thing, but we don't think about what comes after. And this is where keeping weight off is imperative. This is really geared towards those of you that are dieting right now, that are in the thick of it, and saying, hey, like, I'm getting to this goal weight. Yes. Remember, something has to come after. So having that next goal and thinking about managing our weight loss and keeping that weight off can be super important. Again, these things are just some tips and tricks. It's really just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more to it, but if you can get these things down, it should be much easier to navigate. All right, y'all have a great day.